beautiful day. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I want to come in and talk to you guys about something that I saw that I thought was really worth discussing. A lot of people these days, a lot of the statistics are showing that people are just not getting married anymore, and I don't, and it's fine. I mean, you can think what you want about that trend. I am not here to tell anybody to get married or not get married. In fact, getting married, I married a beautiful woman that happened to have 3 kids. So I do not recommend marriage or marrying a woman with children unless you are prepared to pack your patience and really commit to the growth required, in terms of emotional maturity that comes with that challenge of being married, right? So I'm not a guy here that's going to tell you that you have to do this unless you're ready. If you're ready, then I think that there are benefits. It's like any other investment, but if you're not ready for that ride, then it may not be for you. And I saw this video today about a woman who apparently had done 20 years of hard labor with a man that she loved. They had a long-term relationship. And it was really sad because it looks to me like she's devastated because she did not get much of anything in the inheritance. That literally, when he died, all the assets and all the resources went to his daughter, which is the way the law works. That daughter is that one living relative for him, I'm guessing, and that's the person that got everything. Now, the argument that could be made is that this was not fair. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Maybe some of you. I know there's a lively conversation on my Instagram about this. My Instagram is Dr. Boyce Finance, so I'm looking at all the comments, and I'm seeing comments from people who say, "Well, of course it's supposed to go that way. That's his daughter." And then I see other people saying, "That's crazy. That's she gave 20 years to the relationship. She deserves some assets and resources. She deserves some rights." I'm not here to tell you how you should feel about that, but what I am here to say is that that which you plan for in death or in life is what's going to affect you in death. That if you don't make that plan in advance, then the Grim Reaper does not care about what your life looks like, how many appointments you have, how many other things you were planning to do, and I've seen this just happen so often. In fact, I've got a personal story I'll share with you in a little bit. Now, before I move on, do me a favor. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Let me know if you can see me okay. I'm in Atlanta getting ready for the All Black National Convention, and super busy, super busy. Tons of stuff going on with the convention. Thousands of people coming this year. Biggest convention ever. The tickets are sold out. However, as soon as the tickets for the 2026 convention are available, I will let you know. All right. So let me share this video with you all. I'm going to play this video. I'm going to put it on it's from my Instagram, which is Dr. Boyce Finance. So as you put your thumbs up in the chat, I will share my screen. So put a thumbs up in there, and I will start sharing, and I will show you all this video. It's really, really interesting, kind of sad. And it's a powerful financial conversation. So as I play this, do me a favor, let me know if you can see it and hear it, okay? That way I don't monitor the chat to make sure everybody can hear it. All right, so here it goes. I'm going to play it in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Hey, y'all. I have some sad news. This lady just lost her boyfriend for 20 plus years. He died, and she was the girlfriend for 20 plus years. And because she wasn't a wife, she couldn't even sign off on the body to be removed. Also, the check that he's receiving monthly, she can't even get the check. It's going to the daughter, just like they had to call a daughter to remove the body. So I say this to say this. If you are with a man 10, 20, 15 years, and he has never married you, he don't like you. He's with you just because, okay? Because any man that really loves you is going to marry you. Because if something happens to them, they want to make sure that you're okay, all right? So any man who sits up and soak up your time and your years for 10, 15, 20 plus years as a girlfriend and never wanted to marry you, he doesn't like you. I repeat, because a man who really, really loves you is not going to be a boyfriend to you for 10, 15, 20 years. Okay? Now, this man all of a sudden died. She couldn't sign off on the body. The check that he was receiving monthly, she can't get that because it's going to his next relative, which is his daughter. Which means that all of those years that she was with him, and she gets absolutely nothing. See, that's the way he had it set up, see. He knew if something happened to him, he wanted to make sure that you got nothing, okay? Because a man who really cares about you will never set you up like that. They're going to make sure that you're taken care of if something was to happen to them. Hey, y'all, I have some sad news. This lady just lost her boyfriend for 20 plus years. He died, and she was the girlfriend for 20 plus years.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there. I know some of you just got in, and what I'll do is summarize this really quickly. I assume you guys were able to hear it okay. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And what I'm going to do is I'm not just going to talk about what we saw, but I want to actually break this down into a do's and don'ts for those of you that actually don't want to be screwed in the event that your partner decides to kick the bucket or ends up getting Kevin Samuels out of here. Because, Kevin Samuels showed us that men and women can die alone. And if you don't make plans, then it's a lot like not just dying alone, that's bad, but being alive alone can be even worse. All right. So I'm going to just be real with you and be honest with you and break it down for you so that you will have clear instructions on how to not end up feeling bitter, angry, and mad after your relationship is over. Is that cool? Is it cool if I'm just honest and I lay it out here because I ain't got a whole lot of time tonight, but I do want to discuss this topic. All right. So first off, let's say this. All right. So give me a yes or no. How many of you agreed with what she said, where she said that if a man loves you, he's going to marry you? How many of you feel that way? That if a person loves you, they're definitely going to marry you, that marriage is the primary way to express love to another person? Yes or no? I'm going to let you guys answer in the chat, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't know if that's always true. I don't know if you have to marry somebody in order to show that you love them. But I do think that loving them would be shown by committing to them. Now, for some people, marriage is the only form of commitment, but let's just keep it real. Let's be honest. Marriages don't last in America. A lot of marriages don't last, and it's I don't know if I can blame the men or the women because the women are the ones who ask for the marriage and then ask for the divorce. That's confusing to people, I think, that you ask for something and then ask to get rid of the thing that you created. Like that's kind of that's a little bit of a rope-a-dope, man. So again, I'm not judging. I just think that that's confusing for people. So here, I'm going to make it easy for you. Let's make this an easier conversation. Instead of us having to agree that you have to marry someone to show that you love them, can we at least agree that uh, if you love someone, you're gonna make sure that they're taken care of. You're going to commit to them. You want to protect them. You want to, especially you talk about men. Men traditionally are the providers and protectors. Give me a yes if you would agree that a man who loves a woman 9 times out of 10 is going to want to provide and protect for her. Would you at least agree to that? Can we agree on that? You can debate the marriage thing on your own. I'm just going to ask you about providing and protecting. Like if I love you, am I going to, at least make sure you can eat? If I care about you, am I going to make sure that the bills are paid, that you're safe and things like that? Can we at least agree on that? My God, I mean, I swear, if we keep throwing all of our traditional values out the window, it's gonna be even more chaos in our community than we have right now, because now you literally have men growing up thinking that women are supposed to be the providers and protectors, and then women growing up thinking that men are supposed to submit to them. Like you literally your community's been absolutely decimated and destroyed and disrupted and thrown off, and your ecosystem's been imbalanced. And I can tell you, as a person who studied finance for 30 years, who wrote a book. I wrote a book called Financial Lovemaking years ago, and I studied the biology of relationships and love. And I'm really curious not just about what's politically correct. I want to know what's biologically correct. And from a biological standpoint, most studies show that women like men that can provide financial security. And the fact that you have so many men that are offended by that and will call you a gold digger because you don't want him to be running around trying to give you Wendy's coupons. That's completely opposite to your biological nature. That's like telling men that you shouldn't like women with nice booties. You should want women that weigh 400 pounds with flat booties and bald heads. And no, men like the long hair, they like the nice body, they like all these other things, and then nobody questions that. Well, you shouldn't question it when a woman wants you to be secure. Because women don't like to feel unsafe, and I think that that's okay. Now, with that being said, though, men want to be respected, ladies, and I don't think women get that either. Women think they can disrespect and still be provided and protected for. And in my view, this is Uncle Boyce talking, not Dr. Boyce. Dr. Boyce will be in the room in a minute. I'm gonna bring him in so he can give you some specific information to prepare for this. But generally speaking, I don't know a lot of men who could provide and protect, who feel comfortable providing and protecting from you for protecting you if you're always competing with him, trying to oppress him, trying to disrespect him, talking over him, and all these other things. You don't want to if you want to be provided and for and protected, I think you should present yourself as someone who has given some sort of respect to his need to be respected. How about that? I'll just say that, and I'm going to stop talking because I know that that leads to a whole nother long debate. So you can go to the internet, which is a place that's full of all kinds of bad relationship advice from people who've never been married, telling you exactly how to stay married. All right, now let's bring Dr. Boyce in the room, and I want you guys to know also. Here's a free resource you guys can have. I have a book called Financial Lovemaking. And I wrote it at Syracuse University years ago, and you can have a free copy. Just go to boyceandalicia.com. Boyceandalicia.com. My wife is a PhD level licensed therapist and a full professor. She is an expert on relation. All she does is counsel people on relationships all day. You can get free information from her if you care about your relationships. Also from me, you can have a free e-copy of my book. So just go to boyceandalicia.com. The e-copy of the book is free. You can read that, read it with your partner, think about some of these things, and just make your thing work. If you're gonna do it right. If you're not gonna do it right, then don't do it because you're gonna lose money in bad relationships. Bad relationships, broken relationships, cleaning up the mess is always expensive. So just keep that in mind. All right, now do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Also, I want to remind you that this podcast is on Spotify as well. So if you go to Spotify, you can find me. Just look up my name, Boyce Watkins. All right. So let me give you some things you can do. Here's the thing. So since we've all agreed, give me a guess if you agree with me that providing that if a person who loves you is going to make sure you're okay, a person who loves you is willing to sign some sort of contract to make sure that you're provided for. I think we agreed on that. All right. So here are some things you can do to give you some of the benefits of marriage without actually having to go through the ceremony. If being married is not something that you want to do, you can still make sure you sign paperwork to give each other certain legal rights. And I'm gonna give you, it's kind of a five-step process on this, and so you can write this down. Number one, if you share a house, put both of your names on the deed so that both of you have legal ownership of the house. I knew a guy who was a 50-something-year-old guy. He was, OG style. He had a young girlfriend, 32 years old, so he had a little bit of money. Typically, when men get 50 and they have money, there are 30-year-old women, 35-year-old women who will want to date them. I think it's really hilarious that we try to look at those relationships the same way we'd look at it if the genders were reversed. I think that's crazy. No, all throughout history, you can go back 100,000 years, rich men in their 40s and 50s attracted young women who were looking for financial security. I think it's strange that people will say, oh, that's creepy, that's weird. No, it's not always creepy and weird. Now, Shannon Sharp, that was just sloppy, right? She was like damn near out of preschool. But really, if it's not uncommon to see that 50-something-year-old man dating that 30-something-year-old woman who says, I want a man with a certain level of maturity and financial security and all that stuff. So here's what happened to this guy. He unfortunately he didn't realize that dating a 32-year-old does not make you into a 32-year-old. He didn't realize that even if he dated a 32-year-old, he was still a 54-year-old. And so what happened to this 54-year-old man is he had a stroke and he was paying all the bills like a good man does. He paid all the bills, took care of her, but he had no paperwork protecting this lady, none at all. And so what happened was when he had this stroke, she had to go into his bank account. She broke into his bank account to get the money out. You put using the Face ID thing because she needed the money to pay the bills. And all she did was she paid the bills. She didn't give money to her side dude or anything like that. But lo and behold, he dies. And when somebody dies, the state steps in. When somebody dies, your relationship means nothing if there's nothing legally documenting that. When somebody dies, it becomes a government issue. The law steps in. So basically, they did a forensic accounting and found out that this lady had taken tens of thousands of dollars out of the bank account while he was in his coma. So his daughter, who was the first person to get the money, immediately had her arrested and had her evicted because she didn't even like the girl. She's like, "Why, Daddy? Why are you dating a girl that's 2 years older than me?" And so, lo and behold, this poor girl was stuck. This man that claimed to love her and like, girl, I got you, and all this other stuff. He didn't understand that taking care of somebody means you take care of them when you're here and when you're not here, not just when you're alive. You have to make plans for when you're not alive. So if you put both names on the deed, that at least gives someone a legal right to live there if you're not there. Let me know if you can hear that. Let me know if you get what I'm saying. Write that in the chat. Write deed in the chat. So do your deed and put your name on the deed. Everybody write the word deed in the chat. Number two, you should create a living will or trust that clearly outlines who gets what when you die. A trust is something that you can do in a day. It's very important. It creates clarity. It does not create the leadership void that we often see in many black families when someone does not make a plan for their death. I don't know why you Negroes think y'all gonna live forever, because you're not. You black people die every day, all the time for preventable causes. So using a will in a living trust is critical for creating clarity. You can sit there and you can act as it like one day do a meditation. The class that I do every morning, which is 100% free. If anybody wants to join, just text the word morning to the number 87948. If you text morning to 87948, I'll send you an invitation. It's called financial consciousness. And financial consciousness is awareness. Awareness comes down to imagining different realities, like the ability to kind of imagine, like, what if I wasn't here? What if I couldn't sign another document, share another password, tell anybody goodbye? What if I just go outside this door and get hit by a truck and I'm dead? Is everybody going to be good? How would so and so get into the bank account? How would we, who would own the house? Does my ex-wife have the ability to come in and kick my girlfriend out of the house? Right. So that's a meditation that I encourage everybody to do. If you give a damn, if you love the person that you're with, you will do this. If you give a damn about yourself, you'll do this. If you care about your legacy, you will do this. If you care nothing about those things, then you're in the wrong place. I'm sure there's somebody twerking on the internet. You can go watch them. But if you care about these things, that is something you should do. Look into a trust or a will. That's really important. If you're looking for more guidance on this kind of thing, we do economic elevation circles in the Black Business School once a month. That's where you can talk to me about what you're doing and what you're trying to figure out, what you want to do next. So feel free to go to economicelevationcircle.com. That's economicelevationcircle.com. If somebody could type that in the chat, I'd appreciate it. Economicelevationcircle.com. We're going to do an economic elevation circle at the All Black National Convention in Atlanta as well. And the tickets are sold out, but I'll let you guys know when the tickets for next year are available. Number three, you want to get a durable power of attorney and a healthcare proxy. These are important because if you love somebody and they're sitting up in the hospital and they can't talk, they can't make decisions for themselves, you want to have the ability and capacity to step in and help them. So the healthcare proxy allows you to step in and sign documents on their behalf. So get that healthcare proxy because Black people get sick every day. Get that healthcare proxy because you don't know which day is your last. Get that healthcare proxy because people get in car accidents, people get shot, people get sick. My mother-in-law has a very good friend who was super healthy last week, and she was coming to the All Black National Convention. Now she can't because something happened. She got pneumonia and stuff like that, and now she can't even speak. And she's in her 80s, so that's a concern. My mother was coming to the convention in 2022. She told me we ordered our plane tickets. We made a plan. I was going to ride down with Mama. By the end of that week, Mama was constipated and had to go to the doctor. She thought she needed a laxative. Turned out she had colon cancer and ended up being rushed to the hospital for immediate surgery. It was downhill until the day she died. So make those plans. Get that healthcare proxy. Get that healthcare proxy. So type the word healthcare in the chat. Right? Put that in the chat. Let me know you heard me. All right. Next. Uh, Make sure that here's the thing, you've got a few vehicles that contain your money: life insurance policies, retirement accounts, and bank accounts. Those are kind of three major areas where there's money. So most of us will have one or two bank accounts. So a lot of you are investors. How many of you are investors? How many of you are buying stock? I've explained to you all that buying stock literally is the easiest wealth hack on earth. Like literally, if I could get the whole Black community to spend as much money on stock as we spend on fast food and new clothes and Gucci and Beyonce tickets, we would have more wealth than white people. Y'all don't understand it. I'm not kidding. The math works out. Literally, if we spend as much money, if we were as quick to buy stock as we are to have boots on the ground at a Beyonce concert and wear those cowboy hats everybody's wearing, we would literally have insane amounts of money. In fact, tomorrow in class, I'm going to do a wealth breakdown of how much money your family would have if you and your siblings all got together and pooled your money and bought a mansion instead of everybody paying rent to individual landlords. I'm going to break that down for you tomorrow. I'm going to give you specific numbers and specific strategies. So join us for class tomorrow. Text the word morning to the number 87948. I'll send you an invitation. It's free. Don't worry about paying any money. Just pay attention and bring your family if you can, because this wealth stuff is important. So you have retirement accounts, you got your investment account, you got your bank account, you got your life insurance policies. If somebody loves you, they'll put you down as a beneficiary of something. Right. Like, again, I'm not here to judge your relationship, but I'll say this. I interviewed a lady one time and she was 90 something years old, and she claimed for 50 years that she was sleeping with Martin Luther King. She claims that they were in love. They had a deep relationship, that she was kind of what Claretta was, when he was on the road, that was his wife. She was his road wife. That's what she said. And I believed her. She sounded very sincere. And she was very bitter because the minute he got shot, she had no more rights. The minute he got shot, she's in the middle of like just the most traumatic experience of her life. The man she loved just got shot. She wants to jump in the ambulance with him to go to the hospital. They're like, you can't go because people can't see you. If people see you, it's going to ruin his image. And so for 50 years, this lady was doing interviews and going around telling everybody about this story. And I felt my heart really went out to her, for that. And so, generally speaking, I would say that overall, not to in any way speak negatively about Dr. King, because I know he's a sacred cow and we can't do that. But I would say at the end of the day, one way to show love is to make sure that you're safe and protected and that you're going to be good. So if I love you, I'm going to sign a contract with you. I may not marry you. Marriage itself is a contract. It's just a deeper contract. It comes with a lot of other commitments that can be very heavy, and it's a lot more difficult to get out of it, I guess. But literally, if I love you and we live in the same house, I'm gonna put your name on the deed. Maybe I'm gonna consider it anyway. At the very least, I'm gonna have a living trust and be a responsible man and make sure that there are instructions of what you're gonna get. I'm going to sign a durable power of attorney so that one of us gets sick and goes to the hospital, the other one is going to be treated like a relative and not a side chick. I'm going to make sure that in my insurance accounts, retirement accounts, life, bank accounts, I'm going to make you a beneficiary of something. Maybe not everything, but you're going to be a beneficiary of something. And then also there are these cohabitation agreements that people create. It happens all the time where they'll just say, look, here are the property rights that everybody gets. Here's how we're going to divide the assets. Here are the shared expenses, etc. So if you're going to do a long-term relationship with a person, you're talking about 5, 10, 20 years, there should be something, you should have a signed document. If you don't, then you don't have a real relationship. You don't. Maybe you have a situationship. Maybe there's some terminology for that, but it's not a relationship. It's not a legally recognized relationship, and that can be very very problematic, especially if you have people in the family that don't approve of the relationship. So if you like when you had the guy who was in his 50s dating this young girl, his family didn't approve of it. The daughter didn't like it. And so the instant she got the power to get that girl out of there and punish her, she did. She took it to the fullest. She said, I'm gonna hold on. She's like, girl, I'm gonna take all your money. I'm gonna boot you out of your house and I'm gonna lock you out. She did, I'm literally not lock you up, but I'm going to have you arrested. So I'm going to take all your money. Your man has already been taken, so I can't take him. So I'm going to take all your money. I'm going to get you evicted, and then I'm going to have you arrested and humiliated because you should never have been here in the first place. If this girl's father had been alive, it wouldn't have happened that way. If he had been alive, he would have said, no, you're not doing that. He would have protected her. But unfortunately, people don't understand that protecting someone doesn't just mean protecting them when you're capable. It means protecting them if you're incapacitated. Some people don't care about that, but that's what it is. All right, so do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. I'm going to share this video with you one more time so we can kind of just look at it one more time as we sort of walk away for tonight. And tomorrow morning, we're going to have class, Money in the Morning, Financial Consciousness Training. So if you want to join us for free, text the word morning to the number 87948. So text morning to 87948. So for those of you who didn't see the video, this is what we were talking about. This video, this woman who is talking about someone whose boyfriend died, and he didn't sign anything, so she was kind of screwed. This is on my Instagram, Dr. Boyce Finance. I'm gonna play this video again. Let me know if you can hear it, and
Hey y'all,
I just want us to think about it one more time. Here we go.
I have some sad news. This lady just lost her boyfriend for 20 plus years. He died, and she was the girlfriend for 20 plus years. And because she wasn't a wife, she couldn't even sign off on the body to be removed. Also, the check that he's receiving monthly, she can't even get the check. It's going to the daughter, just like they had to call a daughter to remove the body. So I say this to say this. If you are with a man 10, 20, 15 years, and he has never married you, he don't like you. He's with you just because, okay? Because any man that really loves you is going to marry you. Because if something happens to them, they want to make sure that you're okay. All right? So any man who sits up and soak up your time and your years for 10, 15, 20 plus years as a girlfriend and never wanted to marry you, he doesn't like you. I repeat, because a man who really, really loves you is not going to be a boyfriend to you for 10, 15.
Okay. All right. So I want to make it clear. I think everybody has a right to decide if marriage is for them. As much as I'm personally an advocate for marriage, I chose to get married. But remember, I got married when I was almost 50. One of the things that concerned me was the very high divorce rate. I didn't understand why the divorce rate was so high. And I know that a lot of women want to say it's because the men won't do right, but the women are asking for the divorces. And that's a conversation that's going to be much more complex. I don't think and if you look at the financial devastation that comes with divorce, the emotional devastation, the wasted time, the time you could have spent on your goals and dreams and everything else, all that time was spent arguing and stressing out, and the mental and physical health effects, like that, a bad relationship can kill you. I hope y'all know this. Did y'all know that? That literally all the studies show that if you're constantly in a situation where you're feeling contempt and anger and stress, that can kill you. So I'm not here to sit around and tell everybody to go get married. I think in America, there's something about marriage that's broken. I can't fix that. However, what I am here to say is that you don't have to be married to have legal rights. It's not out of the question to say, look, I have some expectation that we're going to make sure everything's clear, and we're going to go through that exercise of saying, if you die, what's going to happen? I know that if I'm with a woman and I've invested in her for 10 years or whatever, and I don't want her to, if something happens to her, I want her ex-boyfriend or ex-husband to be able to come in and take everything, right? So ultimately, I think that it's not just a matter of the men doing this. I think the women have to think about this as well, because now women are making more money. Women have more money, women have more resources. And so as much as he's supposed to provide certain things for you financially, well, you now have the capacity to provide something for him. And I just think that that should be an all-around conversation. Like, what if this happens? A lot of economics and finance and investing really comes down to asking yourself, what if, what if, what if? In banking, they call that a stress test. Stress tests are when you take an institution, which is like your family or a bank or a school, and you say, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if that happens? What if that happens? And the reason you have so many people in America that are financially devastated, so many black people that are stressed out, hurting, angry, depressed, traumatized when their finances go bad is because they never ask that important question. Write this question down in the chat. What if? What if I lose my job? How long can I survive financially? What if my partner dies? How are we going to be okay? What if I can't work anymore? Like, what am I going to do to make money? What if something happens to me? Who's going to take care of my kids? And when you don't ask the what if questions, and this is why financial consciousness matters, because consciousness is heavily built on the idea of elevating your thinking. Consciousness is a higher frequency of thought where you say, gosh, okay, I'm processing this and I'm living in the fifth dimension where I'm looking at all the other things that could go wrong, all these other things that could happen. It's not the sixth dimension, it's not the fourth dimension, it's the fifth dimension, right? Just I'm a mathematician. I'm very precise. And one day I'll break it down for you. If you ever want to have a deep conversation, you can get some Kool-Aid or some weed or something. I can break it down for you. But it's the fifth dimension where you have to live in this very complex place where you have to look at all the different what ifs, all the different possibilities, all the things that can go wrong, all the things that can go right, and just make sure you're ready. Because what happens is that you have a culture that trains you as black people to be reactive and not proactive. You have a culture that trains you to be victims and not victors, as Bill Cosby used to say in his book. You have a culture that trains you to be sitting ducks, waiting for the next tragedy to smack you in the face. And then you say, "Oh Lord Jesus, oh my God, how could this happen to me?" What do you mean? How you didn't know diabetes was coming? You ate grandma's greasy chicken for 20 years straight. You really thought you would never be a candidate for getting your foot cut off from diabetes? You act like you think that was luck and happenstance or random choice. No, you prepared for that. You invested in your diabetes. You created a bad health portfolio to make sure that by the time you're 45 or 50, terrible things are going to happen. Maybe you were drinking liquor every single day. Maybe you were sleeping with 10,000 women and whatever and catching diseases. You were investing, you were building that life the same way a billionaire builds a portfolio. You did the same thing. The only difference is his portfolio is full of money and your portfolio is full of sadness and bad health. So the question is, what are you invested in? What are you thinking about? Are you asking yourself the what ifs? So here's the deal. And I know so many people got mad at me when I didn't dislike Kevin Samuels. I thought he was a smart man. I really did. But the only thing was the problem was that society made him dumber than I think he was. It made him biased. It made him present in such a way that based on the thumbnails, if you look at all the thumbnails, it almost seemed like it got to the point where more time was spent criticizing women and telling women what to do than there was actually being critical about what we need to do better as men, how we as men get to shape the behaviors of women. We have a certain level of leadership and responsibility. Our community's falling apart. We can't just sit back and say, well, it's because these women are doing this, these women are doing that. That's kind of a weak thing to do. And one of the things that I had to say publicly, and I'll say it again, is Kevin showed you, he taught you a valuable lesson on his way out the door. He taught you that women are not the only ones who can die alone. Women are not the only ones who can die alone. Kevin died alone, in my opinion. Well, from what I understand, he died with some lady, some 32-year-old or something, in his room that he barely knew. And I bet you that she was not making sure that he was taken care of as he was on his way to the hospital, or making sure that after his death, certain arrangements have been made. So if you ever want to wonder why, well, what's the value of a wife? This person just tells you what to do, and you can't go sleep around with everybody. Well, it's because if you have a good woman and you take your time and pick carefully, don't just pick based on the size of her booty, you can get somebody that's going to really be an asset to you. And but then at the same time, you have to be an asset to others, and you have to invest in people. And this is not a popular opinion. It does not fit the culture. The culture is built on instant gratification, maximizing the number of good times and orgasms that you get to have. And I'm gonna tell you, if you look around, all you see is devastation and sadness everywhere. All you see are people that are frustrated. You see men that are mad because of the women, and women that are mad because of the men. And a lot of this is because I don't think people are ready to really make sacrifices. They're not interested in doing the work and the research. It's like money. Now, let's go back to money for a minute. It's similar. A lot of people are frustrated that they don't have enough money, and their first reaction is to talk about how oppressed they are and how the white man keeps you from economic opportunities and white people do this and do that. When I'm the guy who shows up and says, well, you know that if you were to invest the same amount of money that you spent on fried chicken and fast food for the last 20 years, you'd have over three or four hundred thousand dollars in your bank account right now. And the only reaction to someone like me is anger. I'll get anger because I'm defeating the narrative that somehow you can't fix these things. I don't know what I can offer to people. I can only offer you a truth. The truth is that most of the areas of my life, when it comes to my mental and physical health, my wealth, my relationships, good and bad, was most of that was my doing. It was my creating. It was mostly my manifestation, the good and the bad, the good and the bad. And I've had frustrations and things like that. I've had times where I've been mad because people wouldn't do what I needed them to do and wouldn't act the way I needed them to act. But then I learned over time that if you think carefully and you take your time and you are clear and courageous in your decision making, you can really manifest the life that you want. And I have found that the hard work required to manifest the life that I want is not nearly as frustrating as me sitting around being pissed off because of what everybody else did to me. Do you understand? So get out of the victim mentality and start thinking like a winner. Stop being reactive to what happens to you and start being proactive about what you're going to decide is going to happen. So here's one proactive strategy. Let me be more specific in case you don't get what I'm saying. Number one, I ask you this question. Do you have an estate plan? Do you have a trust in place that gives specific, clear instructions on what's going to happen if you die? If you don't, unfortunately, you're putting your family in a position of being reactive. They're going to react to your death, scramble, lose wealth, be mad at each other, be confused, and be sad, and go through stress and anxiety on top of what's already there. The sadness of your death will be an afterthought. The sadness will be the chaos you create because you didn't make a proper plan for your death. That GoFundMe, the account that they have to open to pay for the funeral expenses of a grown ass man, will be yet another reason that you're embarrassing your family even after you're gone. Other questions I might ask you. If you are in a long-term relationship, have you sat down and discussed the fact that you're not girlfriend and boyfriend? You are man and woman. You are man and woman. You're not husband and wife. You're not girlfriend, boyfriend. Girlfriend, boyfriend is for the eighth grade. I ain't had a girlfriend since 1986. Okay, girlfriend and boyfriend is for the eighth grade. You 50 years old, man. You ain't supposed to have a girlfriend. What you doing dating a girl? You ain't supposed to be her boyfriend. Why are you trying to be a boy? You're a man friend and woman friend, and you are a collaborative partnership. And if you are together more than 6 months or 9 months or a year, and you claim to care about each other, then put that shit in writing. Write something down that shows something that creates some type of structure beyond just, well, man, I like to go hit it. Or yeah, he's good in the bedroom. Okay, is that all you got? Is that all you got? You got the same, you're 45, you two 45-year-olds living off the vibes of teenagers, living off of emotions. Oh, he makes me feel so good. Oh yeah, man, it was so good. I was hitting it, dog. Really? Really? You 42, 43 years old, and you still talking like you 19. Put something in writing, man. Be a grown up for a change. Institutionalize something. Create a framework, a structure. See, this is the issue. This is me. I'm ranting for a minute. I hope it's okay if I rant. Let me know if it's okay. I got to rant for a minute because I'm sorry. I got to tell you about yourself, black people. All of us. I'm not talking about you because we're a community. We're a family. So don't think I'm trying to be holier than thou. Okay? I'm trying to just lay out something that frustrates the shit out of me about being black. Everybody assumes that we ain't got no damn structure. Everybody assumes that we ain't nothing but a bunch of chaotic buffoons who don't know how to organize shit. Really, everybody looks at us and they say, man, these people are just all over the place. Don't know what they're going to do next week. Ain't got no discipline. Can't sacrifice for nothing. Ain't built a damn thing. All they know how to do is show up and go to work and get their paycheck on Friday and blow all the money by Tuesday. That's all they know how to do. They live moment by moment, paycheck to paycheck, vagina to vagina, penis to penis, and don't even think anything about the next generation. And then their kids are screwed. They sign their children up for slavery every generation because they don't have a plan, any structure, any preparation, nothing. You prepare for nothing, and then when you are somehow shocked when you have nothing. What makes you think you're going to have anything if you did not prepare? Who told you that you can have a harvest when you plant no seeds? So here's what I'm asking. I'm asking anybody who's over the age of 35 who has a relationship. I'm gonna be nice. I'm not even gonna talk about the 29-year-olds, even though y'all should be making a plan too. Anybody over 35 that's in a relationship, I need you to stop being girlfriend and boyfriend because she is not a girl and you are not a boy. You should not be dating little girls and she should not be dating little boys. That will make you both molesters. You are a man and you are a woman, and the man should have a plan. What is your plan, man? Where is your structure, brother? What institutional framework are you creating that's going to let that white man know that you're not just a little kid anymore? So here's what you do. You sit down, you got AI to help you now. I mean, you have no excuse. Sit down, write up a little agreement, get something notarized. Okay. All right, here's my trust. My trust says that if I die tomorrow, which is always a possibility, because you are black, by the way, and black people die all the time. Lots of them died in Chicago this weekend, but no one cares because they don't really believe Black Lives Matter. But anyway, if I die, I want my bank account. I'm gonna go to my bank. I'm gonna tell them here's the beneficiary of my bank account. If I die, my woman, not my girl. I don't have a girl anymore. I have a woman. My woman is gonna get access to my bank account. She can go right in, get the money out, so she can make sure the bills are paid. My retirement account. My woman and the kids are gonna get this money, and this is how they're gonna divide it. The life insurance policy. First off, I'm gonna get my life insurance because I'm not living forever. And then two, I'm gonna go ahead and set up those beneficiaries as well. Also, hey babe, why don't we sign a little document so that if one of us is in an accident tomorrow, because it can happen, it happens every day. Um, you can come in and you're gonna get respected because you'll be able to come in just like my relatives can. Because I love you, I'm going to protect you from my mother and my sister who may not want you around. No, that you're going to be around because I said you're going to be around. Or babe, honey, I know that if something happens to me, that there are other people that are going to have rights. I need to make sure you have the same rights because you are my man. We didn't get married, but I respect you and I love you, and I want to make sure that if something happens, you're the only person I've had enough pillow talk with to the point where you know if I want the plug to be pulled or not. I told my wife, I said, look, if I ever get to the point where I'm incapacitated, just go ahead and please pull the plug. Go ahead and help. If you can get me to a place, if I get to the point where I can't really do nothing no more, take me to a country where they have assisted suicide and just let me go ahead and go. It's all right. Have a party first. Let's party, have a good time, then give me my little pill, sleeping pill, put me in the pod, and then I'll say goodbye and then we'll do it properly. It's okay, right? My wife knows these things. Everybody else doesn't. So stop with the girlfriend boyfriend stuff, man. You're 57. You shouldn't have a girlfriend at 57. I mean, I don't know, I'm not judging, but I really will tell you that the documentation and the paperwork is what legitimizes almost everything. That's what's going to legitimize your legacy. That's what legitimizes your business. That's what legitimizes your ownership of assets. If you buy a share of stock, somebody put your name on a piece of paper and says you're the owner of this asset. And the biggest, most important asset you will ever own is your family and your relationships. And so protect that asset, just sign a couple of documents, put something in place so you ain't out here looking stupid if something happens, if something unexpected happens. And I'm not trying to call anybody stupid. Sometimes the words come out in an inarticulate way. I'm not a smooth talker like Umar Johnson. I'm not a person who knows how to say things that won't hurt you in a way that won't hurt your feelings. I'm just here to talk about the reality that I'm seeing. And you see a lot of sloppiness happening, preventable issues that could have been dealt with somebody just signing one piece of paper, leaving some freaking instructions, leave an email and get it notarized. I mean, my God, make a plan. Make a dang plan, please. All right. So, so somebody said my daughter is listening and says clock it. There you go. That's right. Clock it. I don't know what she means by clock it, but I'm assuming write it down or something. So in fact, let me go through it really quick so we can make sure y'all didn't have to just hear me rant. You actually got something from this. Here are five things you can have. Write this down. Number one, if you have a house, put both your names on the deed. And by the way, real estate is the number one, the second greatest wealth builder in America. So and in fact, actually, tomorrow, what I want to do is show you why every family has millions of dollars in it. That literally, if you have four siblings that are all paying rent and they can all come to the same table and buy property with that same rent money, how much wealth that family would have. That family would have millions and millions of dollars in wealth in less than a generation. I'm gonna give you the clear blueprint tomorrow in class. So text the word morning to the number 87948, and I'll invite you to our morning class tomorrow. It's totally free. Text morning to the number 87948. So number one, if there's a house, put both names on the deed so you don't get evicted. Number two, a living trust is everything. Like the trust just lays out, it's like bringing a new member of the family that documents everything and who owns what and controls the assets. Number three, the durable power of attorney allows you to have rights in case somebody's up in the hospital and needs somebody to sign the paperwork. Four, designation of beneficiaries, right? Insurance policies, retirement, insurance policies, retirement, bank accounts, all that. And then number five, some people, if you really want to get fancy, then make a little cohabitation agreement. Ask ChatGPT to put one together, put the signatures there, have each other sign it. And here's the thing. Here's the ugly part. This is the last thing I'm gonna leave you with. That this is just my personal opinion. But if you get to the point where you lay this out for somebody that you love, that claims to love you, and they're not willing to sign anything on your behalf, I think you have to question what that really means for that relationship. You have to say, like, what are you really telling me? Because I think that sometimes love gets misinterpreted. I can tell you for women, if you think that a man loves you because he's sleeping with you, men don't operate like that. Men can sleep with a lot of women that they don't love. When you study biology and you study the women's brain and how it reacts to dopamine, oxytocin, phenylethylamine, serotonin, and vasopressin, women form these really powerful bonds where sexual energy means something different for women than it does for men. And so the question to me, the question I would end up asking if you care about your own interests, because I asked this about my wife before we got together was, okay, what evidence do I really have that you love me? What evidence do I have that you care about me? And that's the other thing too that's really deep about it is that loving somebody is not the same as caring about them. In fact, somebody could love you like I could love a car. You know what? I love my favorite restaurant, but I don't care about the restaurant. Like if it gets burned down, I'm not going to go pay to get it fixed. You know, right? I may love my car, but if my car crashes, I'm just going to get another one, right? So somebody loving you is not the same as somebody caring about you. Somebody caring about you means they're going to make sure you're good. If I care about something, I take care of it. Do you understand what I'm saying? If I care about something, I protect it. If I really care about my life, I'm going to protect my life, right? So the question at the end of the day is, not do you love me or do you like me? Do you care about me? And I think that the paperwork is a good way to show that, to signal that. But it's up to you to make that decision. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. I hope this was helpful to you. I know I rant a lot, so forgive me for the way I might say things, but I hope that this helps somebody. Also, before I go, just a quick mention. Number one, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Number two, if you want to generate extra money, stock options is the best way to do it. I'm an expert at that kind of thing. My PhD's in finance, so you can go to drboyceprime.com. The URL is above my head, so feel free to go to Dr. Boyce Prime if you'd like to join our options income class. I'm going to issue some more stuff this week on specific stocks that you could buy and start making money literally tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday, a trading day. So it's, a lot. Oh, there's always opportunities. Number three, I'm the author of a best-selling book, Amazon best-selling book called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. And not only have you guys bought probably 100,000 copies, and I'm really proud of that because we're not a corporate outfit. I don't take, the Black Business School doesn't take government money or corporate money because I believe that Black power is going to come through Black independence. So we just do everything on our own. And so we sold almost 100,000 copies of the book. If you want to go into business with us and you want to make money for yourself by selling that book, if you read it and you love it, then I want to just invite you to buy discounted copies and resell them, and I'll sign every one of them for you. So just feel free to go to drboycebooks.com. There's a code word morning 70. Morning 70 will take 70% off the price. You can order as many as you want. You can resell them. There's a lot of people that do that. So my goal is not just to talk to you about your economics and make sure you understand where the money is located and how to get it. But also, I want to see you have more money in your pocket. Like I really am proud when I can say, how many of you have more money in your pocket because we talk regularly? That makes it worthwhile to me because I see a lot of people that do a lot of talking and there's not much change that happens, or people will say things that sound good in theory, or it's like a big picture vision, or what you should do, and nobody will actually do it. Well, I want to see action. And the beauty of wealth is that it doesn't take that much. Literally, if you pivot tiny little things, make tiny little decisions, and just stick with them, it grows into massive, massive outcomes. And we're going to break more of that down tomorrow in class. So I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Have a good night. Thank you for listening. Thank you for letting me rant. I might rant again, but I try not to rant because, I don't know.